Welcome you all for video lecture on design of machine elements. So in this today video lecture, I will take on the module 3, the design of spur gear, helical gear and worm gear. But for today's presentation, I will go through the numericals on design of spur gear. So before starting the simple numerical on design of spur gear, so I will go through the syllabus. The syllabus consists of the gear drives, so all the theory contents, followed by design of spur gears, design of helical gears and design of bevel gears. The examination pattern will be like this. In the examination, they will ask either the spur gear for 16 marks or one from either helical gear or bevel gear. Sometimes they may ask that, so either they will ask the one question from spur gear or helical gear and the bevel gear. So in order to complete the question in the module 3, you have to go at least the two gears, the spur gear and helical gear. So let us start with the simple numerical and design of spur gear. So you just go to the data handbook. Before solving the problem, you have to know the symbols and description of some parameters. So the symbols are that A will be the center distance between the shaft, B is the face width, CV is the velocity factor, D1, D2 is the pitch diameter of pinion and gear, E1 and E2 modulus of velocity of the pinion and gear. So in the design of spur and helical gear, the denotation 1 is for the pinion, the smaller gear, and denotation 2 is for the gear, which is the larger one, the larger gear. So FD is the driving force or tangential load, FD is the dynamic load, FW the limiting load for wear, Fs is the dynamic strength, I is the gear ratio, the K is the load stress factor, and Kw is the wear load factor, M is the module, Mn is the normal module, and N is the speed revolution per second. Same thing, P is circular pitch, PD diametric pitch, PDN normal diametric pitch, PN normal circular pitch, P pitch line velocity, Y, the small y is the Lewis form factor and capital Y is the form factor, Z1 and Z2 is the number of teeth, and the pinion will be the smaller and gear will be the larger gear. Alpha of the pressure angle, beta helix angle, gamma lead angle, sigma endurance is the endurance limit state which is in meganewton per meter square. Yeah, let me start with the simple problem on the spur gear. So design a spur gear to transmit 55 kilowatt at 800 rpm of the pinion. Speed ratio is 3.2:1. So the problem is given with minimum requirement of data. So in the examination from the last year, they will ask the problem which contains almost all the data. But I will start up with the problem where the minimum data is given. The minimum data is that the power, speed and the speed ratio is given. So other things we need to assume it. So in order to solve the problem, let's go with the first step. So what I already told, the smaller one will be considered as the pinion, that is denoted by 1, whereas the larger one will be considered as the gear, denoted by 2. First we need to assume some of the things which are not given in the problem. So I think the first one is the type of the gear is given. You need to note down that whether it's spur gear or helical gear, the type of gear is given spur gear. The profile of these gears which is not given in the problem. There are three types of profile, the 12.5 degree, 20 degree, full depth and 20 degree involute. So here the profile of the gear tooth, if it is not given in the problem, assume it as 20 degree full depth. And also one more thing, the material of these two pinion and gear is not given. If the material is not given, we need the stresses, the allowable stresses for this pinion and the gear. So if the material is not given, assume both the pinion and gear are made of same material. So if you assume that both the gear and pinion are made up of same material, the calculation will become easier so that you can calculate the module or you can design the gears in a simpler way. So how to assume the material? You have to go for the table 12.7 in Balavira Reddy data handbook, page number 234. Assume cast steel 0.2% heat treated. The sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2 is equal to 193.2 Newton per mm square. That is, you need to go to the table 12.7. In that you have to go for cast steel 0.2% carbon heat treated. In that you have to take 193.2 meganewton per meter square or 193.2 Newton per meter square. If the material property is not given, you have to take the allowable static stress from the table 12.7. It is 0.2% carbon heat treated 193.2 Newton per mm square or meganewton per meter square. It is 193.2. Once you take the material, the first step in the design of this per gear is identifying the weaker member, because we have pinion and gear. So we need to identify based on which gear we need to design it. So first we need to identify the weaker member. Based on the weaker member, from the second step we need to consider the weaker member for the design. So to identify the weaker member, we need to calculate the Lewis form factor. Lewis form factor, which is given by y is equal to, there are three cases. But I already told, the profile of the gear is not given in the problem. So the 14.5 degree involute system, 20 degree involute system and 20 degree subtooth teeth system. So in this case we have assumed the 20 degree profile. So this Lewis form factor depends upon Z. But in this problem the Z is not given. So we need to calculate the minimum number of teeth, that is on pinion. That is Z1 is given by 2k1 by sin square alpha. The k1 take it as 1 for full depth, which is available in data handbook. That is equation number 12.3c, and we have assumed the alpha is equal to 20 degree. The profile is 20 degrees involute, that is alpha is equal to 20 degree. Substitute here, k1 is equal to 1, alpha is equal to 20 degree. We get Z1 is equal to 17. So assume that Z1 is approximately equal to 18. But from the table 12.2, page number 229, we need to assume Z1 is equal to 20 teeth. So this is the problem where diameter is also not given and teeth also not given. In this case, what you have to do? So in the next problem, either in the examination or in the internals, you are not supposed to do this. You can directly assume the number of teeth is equal to 20 teeth on pinion when the both diameter and teeth is not given. So assume Z1 is equal to 20 teeth. So we know that I, the velocity ratio is equal to Z2 by Z1. The velocity ratio is given 3.2. So Z2 is equal to 3.2, that is I into Z1. Z1 is known 20. Z1 into I, we get Z2. Z2 is equal to 64 teeth. So next we can calculate the Lewis form factor Y1. To get Y1, we need to take Z1, get Y1 Lewis form factor, and Y2, so take Z2, so you will get Y2. So we got Y1 and Y2, the Lewis form factor for pinion and the gear. Next, calculate sigma 1 and Y1. The sigma 1 is same for both pinion and gear. Multiply it with Y1 and Y2, we are getting sigma 1 Y1 and sigma 2 Y2. In this, we need to check that which one is the weaker. See here, sigma 1 Y1 is lesser than sigma 2 Y2. So we need to, this pinion will be the weaker. So the design is based on the pinion. From the second step, we need to consider the one, that is pinion. If the pinion is safe, then obviously the gear is also safe. So the design is based on the pinion. The second step, we need to calculate the module. So to calculate the module, we have the Lewis equation for beam strength. M equals square root of Ft divided by sigma d CVKY. So or else we can also use this equation 2mt divided by sigma d CVK capital Y Z whole to the power of 1 by 3. So here we know that Ft is equal to the tangential load, sigma d is the allowable static stress, and we need to calculate the velocity factor Cv and Ky. So in order to calculate the module, this is the equation I have chosen, 2mt divided by sigma d Cvk capital Y into Z. From page number 50, so we need to use this equation to calculate the torque required to transmit the power. So which we already used that in the design of shafts in the design of machine elements 1. The same equation we need to use it here to find out the torque required to transmit the power. That is 9.55 into 10 power of 6 into P by N1. We need to take it N1 because design is based on the pinion. So 9.55 into 10 to the power of 6, the power is given and the speed is also given N1. So the torque is given. So we got the torque. So once we got the torque, we need to take sigma d. Sigma d is also known. Next, Once we got MT, we need to calculate CV, K, Y and Z. To calculate Y, we already know that small y1, so but here the Lewis form factor is, so the form factor is capital Y. Capital Y is given by pi times of the y1 Lewis form factor, that is pi into Lewis form factor, so we already calculated in the first step. So we got the form factor. And to calculate K, K is equal to B by M, or B is equal to K into M. B is the phase width and M is the module. So in the data handbook, B is given as 9.5 times of module to 12.5 times of module, the equation number 12.5F. So in between the range, we need to take the average, or commonly we take that B is equal to 10M. So where is B is equal to K times of M, so that K will become 10. So irrespective of the problem, in this Spur-Geary, take directly the K is equal to 10. Once you know the K, we need to calculate CV. CV is known as a velocity factor, so which depends upon the velocity. Velocity is given by pi d n1 by 60,000. But since the diameter is not given, this is the type 1 problem where diameter is not given. Once the diameter is not given, you need to assume CV for the first step. First we need to assume CV. The condition is the diameter not given. When the diameter is not given, assume CV 0.5. Later we need to calculate the corrected value once we calculate the module. So the CV is equal to 0.5. So that module is given by, so 2 into MT, we know that we have calculated torque, divided by sigma d, allowable static stress. CV assumed 0.5, K is 10, and the form factor Y is equal to 0.345 and 20, that is Z1. So module, it is equal to 5.84, we get approximately equal to 6. Module is 6 mm. Next we need to check that whether that module is safe or not. To check that, once you know the module, diameter is not known, by using the simple relation d is equal to mz, calculate d1 m times of z1, by d1 same thing, d2 is equal to m times of z2, 6 into 64, we are getting 384 mm. So phase width is given by b is equal to 10 m. Since m is known, so it becomes 60 mm. Calculate velocity, pi d1 n1 by 60,000. Once diameter is known, we can calculate velocity. Calculate velocity, which is 5.026 meter per second. So once the velocity is known, so we need to calculate the velocity factor based on the velocity. If the velocity is up to 8 meter per second, we need to use this equation. If the velocity is up to 8 to 13 meter per second, we need to use this same thing. So up to 6 meter and to 20 meter per second, we need to use this. So based on the velocity, we need to use these equations. Here the velocity is less than 8 meter per second. We need to use 3.05 divided by 3.05 plus v. So that corrected value of CV for velocity less than 8 meter per second is 0.377. So the Lewis equation. By using the Lewis equation, Ft is equal to sigma d CV Bym. So we need to calculate sigma d design. So Ft divided by, it will become m CV By. So here we don't know Ft, we need to calculate Ft by using the simple relation torque is given by tangential force into radius. So Ft is given by mt by r, that is r1. So mt is known, so diameter we have calculated here 120 by 2 will give the r1. So we got Ft, and m is known 6 mm, and CV the corrected value is known, and the b is k times of m 60, and also we know form factor. So the design stress will become 236.41 Newton per mm square, which is greater than sigma allowable. The sigma allowable, what you have assumed, is 193.2 Newton per mm square. So the design is not safe. Again, what we need to do, we need to increase the module. All this calculation is based on the module. So now we need to change the module to the higher value. So from the table 12.8, take m is equal to 8. So the previous case is 6, which is not safe. So we increase the module to 8 by referring the table 12.2. Again, calculate d1 is equal to mz1, d2 is equal to mz2, b is equal to 10 times of m, and calculate the velocity. Again, based on the velocity, the main important parameter is CV. Again, v is less than 8 meter per second. The same equation, 3.05 divided by 3.075 plus CV, sorry, velocity. So we got CV. Once again, the diameter is changed. So again we need to calculate FT, MT by R1. So MT remains same. So R1 will get changed, it is 160 by 2. So we got FT. So I substitute here FT divided by MCV B by 1. So sigma D design is 120.69, which is less than 193.2 sigma D allowable. So therefore design is safe. So in the proceeding calculation from the third step, we need to use these parameters. That is module is equal to 8, D1 160, D2 512, B is 80, velocity, CV is 0.312 and FT is these values. We need to use it for the next proceeding steps. Next, the step 4 is dimensions. From the table 12.3, in the third column, each parameter will be in terms of module. You prefer this. So we need to calculate the addendum, dedendum to thickness to space, so on, by using these relations. Calculate all the parameters by using the table 12.3. Next, step 5. The types of load acting on the gears are dynamic load and wear load. We need to calculate the dynamic load acting on that, and we need to check whether it is safe or not. So dynamic load is given by Ft plus Fi. So we already know Ft, the tangential load, we calculated in the last step. The Fi is given by K3 into V. So into C into B plus Ft divided by K3 into V plus square root of CB plus Ft. You have to be very careful. Here it is a multiplication in the numerator. Here it is plus the square root of the CB plus Ft. So it's available in the equation number 12.12, page number 209. So in this, the K3 is equal to 20.61. To calculate Fi, the K3 is known, it is fixed for all the problems on per gear, and velocity V is already calculated. B is known, the 10 times of M, and Ft is also known. Only one parameter we need to calculate here, this C, dynamic load factor. To calculate C, from page number 237, we have to know the velocity. Velocity we know it 6.7 meter per second. So to calculate C, first we need to calculate the error. So once we calculate the error, based on the error we need to calculate C. So I will explain you how to calculate this error. So we have the table number 12.13 and 12.14. So in the table 12.13, the module is given, and the first case is the class 1 industrial or commercial gear. The second class 2 accurate or carefully cut gears, class 3 precision gears. So we need to calculate we need to take the error from the 12.13 when the class 1, class 2 or class 3 data is given in the problem. But in our problem this data is not given, so that we are not supposed to use this data. So we need to go for the 12.14. We need to use 12.13 data only when this case is given, whether they given class 3 or class 2 accurate or something like class 1. If they given, you need to use this, or else we need to go for 12.14. The 12.14 we know velocity is 6.7, it is in between 6 and 8. So we need to prefer 6 itself. For 6 error is 0.0590. So we got the error. Once we got the error, note down that 0.0590 is the error for 6. Then we need to calculate the C. So look at this in the table 12.12, the error for error 0.01, 0.02, 0.03 up to 0.12 and 0.25. The dynamic load factor is given for different materials. So here we know that for error E is equal to 0.06. Here in this 0.06, but actually in the previous case we got the error as 0.059, which is closer to 0.6. So 0.06. So that I will take for E is equal to 0.06, and you assume the both pin end and gear are made up of same material, that is steel and steel. So go to the steel and steel material 20 degree. We need to go for 0.06. For that C is 686.7. For steel and steel 20 degree, E is equal to 0. C is equal to 686.7. So for E is equal to 0.6, dynamic load factor is equal to 686.7. Then what is the value of C? For error is equal to this much. So just do the cross multiplication, 0.06 into the required value of C and 686.7 into 0.06. 590, that is simple linear interpolation. So that C is equal to 675.25 Newton per mm square. So let me explain you once again. So we know the error for velocity, that is 0.0590, which is closer to 0.06. So choose that we have already assumed that steel and steel material 20 degree. For that the nearest value is 0.06. The C value is 686.7. So that we are noted down. So that for E is equal to 0.0590, what is the value of C? Let's do the linear interpolation and getting the value of C. We got the C, calculate Fi in terms of Newton, and Fd is equal to Ft plus Fi, we are getting 30.42 kilonewton. We got dynamic load. The next step 6 is endurance strength. The endurance strength is given by F endurance is equal to sigma endurance Bym, that is 12.3a, page number 207. So we need to get the values of the sigma endurance is also not given in the problem. So to choose that, so you need to go for the page number 238 and 12.15, and that is BHN, the material is same, that is steel and steel. So you need to go for steel and steel. So BHN is 250. For that, sigma endurance is equal to 429.0 Newton per mm square. So take the sigma endurance from this table if it is not given in the problem. So that if B is known, the Y is small by Lewis form factor, and M is the module. So F endurance is given by 93.48 kilonewton. For that we need to check the margin of safety. Margin of safety is from page number 208 for the beam strength, which is given by F endurance by Fd minus 1. F endurance we know that, and Fd dynamic load is 30.42 minus 1, getting MS adapted is 2.07. So in data handbook that is given for short load, F endurance is equal to 1.5 times of Fd. So that F endurance by Fd is equal to 1.5. Right? So that MS required is F endurance by Fd is 1.5 minus 1, it is 0.5. MS required is for, based on the condition is F endurance by Fd for shock load is 1.5. Substitute here 1.5 minus 1 is getting 0.5. So that what we have adopted here based on the design is 2.07, which is greater than the required. 2.7 is greater than 0.5. If margin of safety is greater than 0.5, then the design is safe. We need to proceed with the next step. It is the wear load. To calculate the wear load, which is given by D1 BQK. So in this equation, it is always given with the D1. Whether it is design is based on pinion or gear, D1 is always fixed. So it will be not changed either to D1 or D2. So in the data handbook 12.515 equation A, page number 208, FW is given by D1 BQK. The Q, it is in terms of the teeth 2Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So we know Z1 and Z2, calculate Q 1.52, which is 1.52. From table 12.16, page 239, for BHN1 is equal to BHN2, K is equal to 0.902. So to calculate that K, you need to go for the page number 239, 12.16, BHN1 is equal to BHN2, K is equal to 0.902. So Q is known, K is known, B is 10 times of M, and D1 is known. Calculate FW. So look at this, FW is less than Fd, which is 30.42, so design is not safe. Always that wear load, it has to be more than the dynamic load, then only the design is safe. So that we need to make the design as safe. To make the design is safe, we need to use the condition. What is that condition? FW is greater than or equal to Fd. You know the equation for FW, D1 BQK, which is greater than or equal to 30.42 into 10 power of the, that is 30.42 kilonewton. So D1 is known, we can't change the diameter, B we can't change the width also, and Q is also fixed based on the Z1 and Z2. And so in order to design the safe, you need to calculate this K, which is greater than or equal to this. So take this into the denominator, we are getting K is greater than or equal to 1.563. So this is the table where we need to choose the value of BHN based on this. So earlier the case, the design is not safe, where we are taken K is equal to 0.902, so that in order to make the design safe, so we need to increase the value by using the equation, that is K is greater than or equal to 1.563. 1.63. So look at this, the table 12.16. The first column is material, the second is BHN, its pinion and gear, again the material and BHN, the endurance limit and K for 14.5 degree and 20 degree. We require 20 degree. Just refer the data handbook, which is not clear over here. So we need to go for the K, which is greater than 1.563. Look at this, 1.59 is there, so which is greater than 1.563. It is 1. So we need to go for the BHN, which is made up of same material. Look at this, so here it is 1.599. If you look at this, it is 350 and 300, again 400 and 300. This is not same. We need to go for this because both are made up of same material. BHN must be same. We need to go through this 350 BHN1 and 350 BHN1, where K is greater than 1.560. Yes, K is greater than 1.560. So the K is 1.893. The BHN1 is equal to BHN2 is equal to 350. Okay, so we need to change the BHN to 350. Earlier we had taken it as 250. So design is not safe. Use the condition FW is greater than FD, and so that K is getting greater than 1.563. So from the table, choose that which are having the same, the steel which is having the same BHN for pinion and gear. Choose that K value greater than 1.563, which is 1.893. BHN1 is equal to BHN2 is equal to 350. So this completes the problem 1 on design of spur gear. So thank you. And if you have any doubts regarding this problem 1 on this spur gear, you can mail me, or you can text me, or you can WhatsApp me. So thank you.